Good evening, or I should say good morning, everybody, and welcome to a weekly message from Jesus. Our Father is here. He's ready to speak, so we'll just simply get on with his message this morning. Good morning, everyone. Today, I'm going to speak to you about heavenly powers. I know many of you do not totally understand just what I am truly capable of. I'm basically capable of doing many, many things far beyond your comprehension. I created your world. I created humans. I created everything in this world. That's a lot of power. Now you ask me, I hear when you pray, you ask for many things. So even though you know that I have these powers, you must understand that I cannot use all of them. Oh, I can use some, and I do make decisions for miracles, and I can heal, and there are many things I can do. Every week I speak to you about a life plan. A life plan is something that each of you come into. It's planned before you enter. It's based on lessons you have to learn. Now, even though I have all of these great powers, I will not use them to interfere with life plans. Each soul has been around basically since creation. It's been lived many, many lifetimes, some here on Earth, some on many, many on other planets. You make a decision as a soul. Do you want to rise in the realms, or do you want to stay in heaven, or what do you want to do? You have free will. I do not interfere with that free will. If I did, there'd be simply no challenge to you coming back to live these lives. The lives, the incarnate lives that you live, are critical. You cannot advance in the realms of heaven without learning lessons, and it's only through these incarnate lives that lessons can be learned. So let me use an example for you this morning. Your father has got a bad case of cancer. You pray to me to cure that cancer. And when I don't do it, you blame me for the cancer. Well, before he laid out his life plan and returned, that suffering was a lesson he had to learn. If I heal that cancer, then that lesson will not be learned by him, and he'll have to return another lifetime, and he'll have to try to learn that lesson. So I'm really doing him a favor by not curing the cancer. Now, I know that's hard for you to believe and to understand. But if I cured that illness, then he'd have to return and suffer the illness again. So I'm actually doing him a favor. Now, let's take it a step further. There's an immense amount of evil in your world. Yes, I could snap my fingers and cure all that evil. The evil is meant to be a challenge to you as you live your life. How you handle evil determines how close you come to living your life plan, and how you handle evil is how you will be judged when you return, and how you are judged when you return is also how the guides decide whether you should stay where you are in the realm, advance to another realm, or perhaps go to a lower realm. And so now this is going to be really hard for you to understand, but I'm really doing you a favor by allowing evil to exist. If I got rid of evil, once again, the challenges would go away. Now, I have the heavenly power to do that, but I choose not to do it. If I removed all the evil, then you would not be challenged and you would not be able to learn lessons. So you see where I'm heading with this. Even though you have no comprehension of my heavenly powers, I have almost unlimited power. I make the decision when I will use those powers and when I won't. If I can use those powers to guide you, then I do it. I instruct my guides to do it, and I instruct my angels to help you. You see, I will use my heavenly powers to do everything in my power to help you make the proper decisions to follow your life plan. But once again, the most important part of that phrase was, you make the decisions. I will help you and guide you to make the right decisions. Now, many of you choose to ignore my guidance. Well, that's your decision. You see, I could make you do this, but I'm not about to. Each living soul is very important to me. I gave each soul eternal life. I want those souls to progress, and I want those souls to do many different things. I will only use my heavenly powers to help you learn lessons. Now, there may be a time that I have to step in. Maybe very evil people decide to use weapons of mass destruction to destroy all life on your planet. Well, then I'd have to step in and I have to recreate another form of living being. If I did that, it would not be the human form, because now I've learned a lesson that humans can't pay attention to what they're supposed to do, make the right decisions and advance and love others and do all the good things that I speak of each week. So you see, it all comes down to your free will. The heavenly powers that I use are determined by your free will. There is nothing I enjoy more than using my powers to help guide you and to help lead you. Occasionally, situations come in where I have to step in and perform miracles. Many times people are healed and they have no idea. Doctors can't answer it. You see, I did this with Barry. He had a heart attack, but I knew he had so much more to do that I stepped in and I healed the heart attack for him. You can ask him about it. He'll tell you the whole story. But I used my heavenly powers to make sure that he was still available to bring you my messages, my books, to speak of all the things that I want to speak of every week. You see, he was on his life plan. Each life plan has different places, I guess you could call them, where you can depart and return home. I felt that it was incredibly important that he did not return at that point. You see, he was doing what I wanted him to do, what I needed him to do, and I knew that if I performed that miracle, he would continue to do much good, and he would continue to bring a lot of people to hear my words. So in that case, yes, I applied my heavenly powers, but it was to help him continue to live the life plan that he had chosen. All of you are living the life plans, or all of you are living a life plan. It might be not the life plan that you chose. When you vary from the life plan, then that's not going to be a good thing for you, because you're not learning the lessons that you are supposed to learn. Anytime you commit suicide, become addicted to drugs that it affects your life, hurt others, create violence of any type, don't do charity, well, then you're not following your life plan. So you made the decision not to follow your life plan, so why should I make the decision to perform a miracle for which you ask? You see, it's all very complicated. I try to make things simple. I ask you to follow a life plan, do good, show love, don't show anger, don't show hatred. All the very simple things for you to do. Well, if you do that, you're not going to need any miracles because you're following your life plan. Heavenly powers are unlimited. I am God, but I'm not Santa Claus. You see, I can do many things, but I'm not going to answer all your prayers because many of your prayers go either against your life plan or against the life plan of others. If I did everything that you asked for, then you wouldn't have to use your free will to make decisions, would you? Heavenly powers, you'll never understand until you return. And even then, unless you're in an upper level, you won't understand them at that point. You will understand the incredible powers of heaven. You may understand that you should have made many different decisions when you return, but that's your choice. It's always your choice. You know what is right and you know what is wrong. There may be many pressures for you to do wrong, but you need to stand up to those pressures because it is your soul that you're protecting. Your soul is what needs to be protected by you making the proper decisions, using common sense. You know what is good, you know what is bad. People need to be protected. There are many people that need this protection, especially now with all the bad things that are taking on in your world. If you are in a position to protect those that need to be protected and don't do it, that's wrong. And that will be judged against you. So I hope that I was able to bring a little bit of clarity to your beliefs about my powers today. Oh, you're right. They are unlimited, but it is my choice, my free will when I use them. Just that it is your free will whether you want to follow your life plan or not. So please spread my words. I ask you this every week. Some of you do, many of you don't. It's not hard. You can always ask Barry for advice. He will tell you what you can do that will help further your path. So I'll be back again next week. Some of you I'll bore, some of you I won't. Some will listen and some won't. Some will obey and some will not. So I will be back again next week. Thank you for listening. Tell your friends. It could be the most important thing that you ever do. Thank you, Father. Another wonderful message. Your book, God's Message for a Modern World, should be available around the middle of October. I'm doing all I can to push it, and I need your help in doing it. So I thank you very much for listening. We'll be back again next week. God has many words for you. He's not finished. I can promise you that. I'll see you next week.